Hello, everyone. First, I would like to welcome you all to the seminar on our 3C4life project. I'm Gokhan Kaya, and I'm a part of Turkish tandem of this project, and I'm a member of Hacettepe STEM and Maker Lab. Today, we will conduct this symposium as a policy seminar together with our project team. In this session, I will briefly introduce our project, and then there will be four different presentations. And we are not planning to have a question and answer session following each presentation. When all presentation is finished, I will give the floor to our valuable discussant, Agueda, and we will spend the second part of the seminar with her views and your questions. In the second part, we will take both my colleagues who made presentation and also ministry representative to the stage, and we will end the process as a panel atmosphere. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce our project shortly. Maybe some presentation has also give some information about our project, but I shortly introduce our project aims and motivation factors and our objectives. Our project 3C4life stands for Perspective for Lifelong STEM Teacher, Career Guidance, Collaborative Practice, and Competence Development. And this project aims raise the attractiveness of teacher profession. And we have 12 partners from 6 European countries, and each country has a research team and also ministry team. So we are combined policy and practice. And our trigger points and also motivation factors. The first one is STEM teacher shortage across Europe. Most of the European reports, there is information about teacher age, teacher numbers in countries. So Europe is facing teacher shortages, and as a major reason, teachers do not perceive teaching as an attractive career options anymore. And also we have tried to change, or we have tried to support teacher needs, because the teacher needs change depends on era and depends on technologies, depends on students' needs, and there's a new approach for in-class teaching. So we try to support teachers' competence. And gaps needs to be filled in our project aims. Career guidance for teachers. Teachers do not see a need to develop teamwork competence. Collaborative approaches are hardly applied between teachers. Teachers have problems in adapting new teaching methods in classroom teaching strategies. Professional development offers do not meet teachers' needs. And our claims: STEM education system lack the capacity to support teachers to make the best of their life as a teacher. And our objectives is change that. And our measure is all digital STEM teacher platform with an innovative occupational advancement for teachers. And there's 3 key innovative features. And we have a platform. The name of the platform is Teach for Life. You can access now, teachforlife.eu. There's 3 sections. The first one is a career, the second one, cooperation, and the third one is competences. There's a portrait interviews, videos, career videos, inspirational videos, and national networks, international networks, and also in the competence part, social scientific issues, IBL, and context-based teaching. And in our symposium aims, present best practice example and illuminate the approach and implementation of career possibilities, and discuss and reflect on various questions concerning STEM education in Europe. Now, I would like to give floor Monica for the first presentation. Then we will continue the other presentations.
So good morning. My name is Monica. I'm from Portugal, from the University of Lisbon Institute of Education. And this presentation, as the first presenter said, is related with the project 3C4life. And we did this presentation in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. So the two last presenters, and Luisa and then Alves, they are from the Ministry of Education, and it's here with me. And the second, and João and Nuno, we are also from the University of Lisbon. I would like to give you more information about the project. And I'm going to start with the question, what is STEM education? Because this project is related with STEM careers, teachers, STEM careers, and so on. And as you all know, there is no consensus in the literature that there has been a broad, large discussion about its meaning. For example, some authors connect the STEM education with the integration of STEM disciplines. And one of the most recent proposals is about integrated STEM education. It seems that under its umbrella, disciplines are beginning to be combined, put in dialogue, and integrated in a more educationally fruitful way. I brought two authors, the Ortiz Revilla from the University of Burgos and the colleagues, that in an article in the Science and Education Review, they wrote about the integrated STEM, and they discuss what is STEM integration and the integrated STEM. And they write that the integrated STEM education is a dynamic term concerning the teaching and learning processes, focus on students, and is the intentional and explicit integration of different disciplines direct towards solving real world problems. And another definition about the STEM integration is also from Spain, from Martin Paes and colleagues. And they also talk about the real world problems-based learning. And they wrote that the STEM education integrates the four disciplines through cohesive and active teaching and learning approaches. This is two ideas from the literature. And in the 3C4life project, the solving real problems, it was one of the targets. But the question is, what teaching and learning approaches are we talking about? And the project also, some teaching practices highlight in the literature is the project-based learning, the inquiry-based learning, the problem-based learning, social-scientific issues, and some authors also align the design process and the authentic contexts associated with the STEM integration. But as we also know, from the literature, it is possible to say that there are different authors that argue that STEM education has benefits for students' learning, students' competencies development, and so on. For example, based on a systematic literature review, the authors, Martin Paes and colleagues, they highlighted that STEM education has benefits for the students at 3 levels: the cognitive benefits, the procedural benefits, and also attitudinal benefits. I brought an example of one study, a study that was conducted by Shailai Lee and colleagues in 2017, in which 242 students with a good performance in science and mathematics participated in a STEM program that follow problem-based learning, and the results showed a significant increase in students' interest towards STEM subjects, as well positive effects on their intention to pursue professional careers related with these fields. This is an example. Other authors argue that STEM education promotes the development of different skills, namely critical thinking, creative thinking, communication, and collaboration skills. However, despite the benefits of STEM education for the students, the literature also describes some challenges, namely challenges related with teachers. And from the literature, it is possible to see different studies that argue that many factors affect how students use and implement STEM education in their classroom in order to promote students' development of competencies, and that the teachers have difficulties in interpreting and understanding the intentions of STEM education, sometimes have limited views on inquiry-based learning, authentic context, and socio-scientific issues. And I also brought an example from Marta Romero Ariza and also Antonio Quezada and different colleagues, that they did a study. They conducted a study with the teachers, and they compare Spanish and English teachers related with barriers to the implementation of inquiry-based learning. And they highlighted, according to the perspective of the teachers involved in the study, that the main barriers are the curriculum that does not promote inquiry-based learning. There is not enough time for inquiry. The educational system does not promote inquiry. The evaluation is not aligned with the inquiry. So this is the teacher's opinion, the teacher's perspectives. So in order to support teachers in updating their teaching skills and competences, specifically in inquiry-based learning, socio-scientific issues, and authentic contexts related with STEM resources, STEM tasks, the 3C4life project emerged. And as the previous author said, it's a new European Union project, key A3 Erasmus Plus. So we would like to support policy cooperation at the European Union. And in order to inspire teachers for STEM teaching and also for STEM careers, the 3C4life project developed a platform, the Teach for Life platform, and it's a collaboration and exchange platform. I'm just going to give you an overview of the platform, but I'm going to focus in the competences part because my presentation, it's about this part of the platform. As you, Özcan said before, the platform has 3 parts. One is related with careers, another collaboration, and another one related with competence. Concerning the collaboration, I just want to highlight that we have forums, and we have international forums and also national forums, and the teachers could use the platform to share ideas and to collaborate. About the competences part, the platform offers, related with this section of the platform, offers resources and also STEM tasks. And the main aim is to facilitate, of course, the development of teachers' competences, but also the students' development of competences through inquiry-based learning, authentic context, and socio-scientific issues. And we tried also to promote the integration of STEM. Each task or resource is organized as follows. So we started with a context. In this case, is related with a problem, a daily life problem, and then the teachers in the platform had access to details, solutions, implementation part, and also some informations and more informations about what is, according to the literature, what is an authentic context, and also the features of the authentic activities and so on, and more information about that. I'm going now to explain and to start to explain how we in Portugal implemented the platform with the Portuguese teachers in the Portuguese context. And for this presentation, my aim is to show you, to examine what STEM teachers, Portuguese STEM teachers, learn about the competence in STEM education, namely regarding the nature of inquiry-based learning, because our project was centered in inquiry, authentic context, and socio-scientific issues when they participated in a professional development program that used the Teach for Life platform. First of all, I would like to highlight that we did together, we worked together with the Ministry of Education of the Portuguese Ministry of Education, and together we developed a professional development program from December 2022 to May, comprising 50 hours of training. The participants were 164 in-service teachers coming from different disciplines, from different STEM areas, including math, physics, chemistry, biology, and technology. And they work in groups, mixed groups. In total, we organized the teachers in 12 classes, and they work together and in mixed groups with different knowledge. And some of these teachers, the background is engineering, for example. About the professional development program was organized around 5 stages. The first one is explore and explain. So at this stage, the teachers had the opportunity to explore the tasks, the resources in the platform, and they solved the tasks. So they conducted hands-on activities. They were engaged in, for example, in design processes, in the experience, and so on. And they work in groups, in small groups, during the implementation of the tasks, and also in we discuss with the education, the academic, the the teachers from the university, of course, that we work also in collaboration with the teachers. Then after this phase, they called the phase of action. So the teachers implemented the tasks with their students. Sometimes one teacher of the group teaches the lessons and the others observed. So they have to implement it, at least one resource, one activity of that is in the platform. Then they collect data from their students and they reflect about the experiences, taking into consideration, of course, the data that they collect. And after that, they disseminate their experiences, their work at national level, a national conference that took place on June. At the Institute of Education, and they share their experiences with the platform, with stakeholders, researchers from other universities, enterprises, for example, and other teachers, principals, and so on. The PDP involves collaborative work, as I said, among not only between teachers, but also between teachers and teacher educators. Now, we collect data using an open questionnaire and also written reflections in the end of the PDP. And data analysis, the teachers argue that they learn about their teacher's role, the task features, the design process, the task implementations, and also about the students' development of competencies. I'm just going to give you one or two examples because my time is over. Just one example related with this activity. So the platform, for example, offers teachers tasks that allow them to involve in the design process. For example, in the PDP in Portugal, all the teachers explore this task, how to build a bridge to evacuate civilians. And we discussed the stages of the design process proposed on the platform with the teachers during the PDP. And in their written reflections, the teachers said that they gain insights and learning from these experiences. For example, one teacher wrote in their written reflection that I learned about the possibility of developing a product, an artifact with my students that is useful for people, making our lives easier, and how through the creation of its product, they can learn about the subjects. The case of building a bridge while they were developing they learned physics, mathematics, technology. The activity was very enriched from the perspective of learning. And the teachers also said that they learn about the stages of the design process. What contributed to the development of the teachers' learning? One important issue that the teachers told us was related with the collaboration. And the collaboration at two levels. The first one, it was the collaboration between teachers from different areas, from different disciplines, so they can together work in collaboration and to learn each other. And also, it was very important for the teachers to work with teacher educators. And they wrote, for example, that working as a team was crucial. Sharing ideas and knowledge with teacher education was also very important and enrich us with academic knowledge. So the relationship between practice, policy, and research. And to conclude, the results show that the teachers learn about their role and how to identify the features of inquiry, authentic context, and socio-scientific issues. The teachers, the Teach for Life platform supported teachers learning to identify the features and also to understand it's important for student STEM competencies development. And the collaboration during the PDP was crucial to the development of teachers' learning. The link between the Ministry of Education and was crucial to the success of Teach for Life platform and to disseminate the platform at national level. And thank you so much.
Thank you for Monica for her presentation. Now I invite Antonio from Spanish team for his presentation. I will open it. Please come. Paper two.
Thank you, Gokhan. Good morning. Thank you to be here. Welcome to the audience. I would like to start the presentation. Thanks to my colleagues of the project, to the Discussant, or to the organization, to let us the opportunity to be here within this symposium, embedded in our project 3C4life. When we planned to be here, we thought, well, how can we contribute to the objectives of the symposium, within this symposium? So we think that we would like to present some of our practice, our teacher professional development course embedded in our design of the development course for teachers. Also, I think we can illuminate the approach of that, sharing with our colleagues of the project and others. But the main part of the presentation is focused on the research evidence. So our team is in charge of the evaluation, part of the evaluation of the project, this and another one. And we are thankful to all the partners that because they give us data from teachers. We design the instrument, we analyze the instrument, we analyze data, we draw conclusion, and we are going to share this process in this session of today. As I said, we would like to share the part of the presentation focus on the research instrument and very preliminary research because the project is still running. So here we are, our presentation. The title is Bridging Research and Practice and Policy to Improve STEM Learning Through Teacher Professional Development. Here they are, the team of the part of the contribution and part of the project. My colleagues, Marta, Anna, Maria, and Oscar. What a team. Oh, so we are very happy to work together. We are like a family, and I think this makes things run easily in everyday research things. So my presentation have been structured. There is a lot of content, but I try to fix to the 20 minutes. The presentation is a very brief introduction with some rhetoric question that we can share later with you. In relation to research, what do you think? What is a effective professional development course for teachers? Then I'm not going to spend so much time describing the project because my colleagues before in the presentation has given some highlights about that. And we focus later on the research part. Why not in what is going to be done before the project ends? So we can ask to the audience and try to respond and think about that because maybe we can discuss later. What should we as research to inform or demonstrate with evidence about educational research, and how can we, again, research, people who make research, inform about the benefits of. I didn't want to finish the sentences because this question is valid for everything that you do. Research about what? Well, we are trying to research about teacher competencies, effectiveness of the teacher programs. So this question is very open. I would like to share these two references. Are not very new, but for me was very interesting that respond these two questions. Why should we share research? To inform policy, because we don't forget, we are in a policy seminar, we are in a policy experimentation project. So our main aim as research is not only to grow the body of knowledge, or it's not for me to publish, is also to share not only with other research. It is very proud to me that someone said to our works, but with society, with the stakeholder, with my colleagues from the institution that has designed and developed running the TPD programs. So this, I recommend you, if you don't know this reference, that to have a look. We came back later. We continue with the next question. How do you think we can help to improve teacher professional development? For sure, you have a lot of ideas. For sure that you have research-based thoughts and evidence that I'm going to summarize what we as a team thought within the project that should be a very effective teacher professional development course or initiative. Well, responding to the first question, that we should conduct empirical studies. This is because I do that with empirical studies. We should to collaborate with others to make these studies. For us, has been very useful that other partners give us data from their teachers, from their experiments, to compare between programs, and also between different cultural different approaches to the professional development courses. At least disseminating findings through various channels, publishing papers, of course, from our research, but also sharing with others. For us, how do you think we can help improve teachers? But first, we can say provide access to high quality professional development. This is here because for us, include approaches as IVL, context-based learning, social-scientific issues. Monica gives some information about that. It's a high degree of high-quality professional development feature for a course in professional development for science and mathematics. So this is a feature that, if you have seen the platform, or we can show some info later, these approaches are in the platform as free resource for teachers. So another thing is to offer opportunity for collaboration and peer learning, offer teachers to collaborate, and peer learning and peer evaluation. So this is another feature that we have tried to embed it in our course, and others have done also. So to make the opportunity to be part of a professional learning community, and also to launch the message that continuous development, professional development is not a point in your life. It's something that you have to grow daily. So this is, I think, is our responsibility also as educators, as teacher, professional development designers, to share this culture between between teachers. Another feature is technology integration. It seems to be that nowadays is a part of our daily day. Could be done also without technology integration, but why not? If we have, we can use it. If you are following the slides, all these ingredients are part of the 3C4life project and has been embedded in the platform, or also in the continuous professional development courses that partner has run. Mentoring and coaching is another feature that we consider that maybe could be a feature of a good professional development course. Also, maybe less highlighted is make also teachers participate in the research at different levels. They can research, but also they can be part of the research. So, sorry. I have said to guide teacher deepen understanding of scientific concepts through research literature. Well, as a summary of this part, our approach to a high quality professional development design is a multifaceted approach that emphasizes the access to all of these features, or we should try to give this opportunity within our courses. And also, what we would like to emphasize that all these approaches, all these thoughts, all these features are based on research evidence, and more important for us now, that generates more evidence to keep on growing the body of research. Well, with this in mind, here I present, I'm going to run through quickly because others have done before, the 3C4life project, very quick. It's about perspective of long life learning for teachers. This is the main aim of the projects. The partners, we have 12 partners for 6 European countries, but the most important thing for me, for us here, is that we have worked as a tandem with the country. We have been part of our research, and also we have, in collaboration as a tandem with our College of Educational Authority. This is what I have called, don't look at this on bibliography, I think it's not the term already coined, the KTB, key to bridge. So this key to bridge, so working tandem will be a key to bridge that we speak in many forums about gaps between research, practice, and policy, but we thought, project thought that this is, research thought that this is a key to bridge this gap. Well, remember that I show you some references in relation to how to bridge this research, teacher, practitioner, policy makers. I really like more this from the second reference, when you can see the intersection between the policy, who produced the course, who used the course, who benefit the course of professional development. We are there, ICSE, through the 3C4life platform, and we, UHA, and here our tandem, Cefire, we have trying to bridge, to be in the middle of this three set of triangles. Very quick, this is the Spanish context of our TPD. It's a professional course for teachers. We have developed in collaboration with Cefire, and I think we have reached the KTV. Very briefly, this is the feature of our professional course development. It was run during 6 months in an intensive course, virtual, using the 3C4life platform, but also another resource as the Cefire platform. We had with teacher once a month, one face-to-face session, virtual but face-to-face session in relation with some lectures, some interaction with educators, with professionals, with other teachers that are trained in IVL, context-based learning. So we have once a month session face-to-face with them, all of them. So the role of educator was to lead the face-to-face session, to help track it and follow teacher progress and solve doubts in relation with the content of the course. The content of the course was related with those approaches that we highlight as good quality approach for teacher professional development in science and maths. But also in this course, we planned at the very beginning that should be updated. In Spain, we have had a reform of the educational law. So we would like also to link the new law with the demands of teachers and try to offer them the more updated formation in the course. The course have had different activities like immersion tasks, development, implementation of learning services by the teachers. Teacher has interact and collaborate using platform forums and other tools. There have been a peer review and feedback of tasks. If you put all together and revisit the previous slides, we thought that we reached some feature of the high quality teacher professional development course using the platform of the project and the resource of the project. Well, this is the platform, has been shown before, the different section about career, cooperation, competencies. We are very proud of all the platform, but mainly of the section of competency because the amount of resource that there is. And we are going to connect the competencies with the research part because I thought what the main gains has been found there in relation to the development, improvement of the teacher competencies. And we thought that the competencies part of the platform has done very well. Also the course, also the educators, and also the other things of the teacher professional course. Well, and now if we move to the research part, so we are talking about career competency and collaboration as main dimension of the development of teacher professional growing. In career, we can see internal motivation about career. We can identify social recognition of value, career advancement, and also collaboration. The dimension of competency, we measure the self-efficacy. How do you perceive yourself doing something, doing IBL, or trying to make a sequence based on IBL, or a context-based learning, or whatever. And in terms of collaboration, we will focus in value, barriers, and willingness. We, on purpose, include barriers because we know that it is a systemic thing that teachers has found barriers. And what's happened, our question was, what's happened in relation with the barriers related with collaboration? So we include this dimension to be analyzed on purpose. At the end, we are measure beliefs and attitude of the teachers participating in our courses. Okay, so our research question could be formulated. One of the research questions within the project can be formulated at what is the impact of the 3C4life platform embedded in the professional development course on teachers, and you finish the sentence. Perceived relevance and motivation for the teaching career, perception of teacher collaboration and community building, perception of competency development and self-efficacy, knowledge about the different career pathways they can navigate to shape their personal path as teacher. So there is not one research question. It's one research question with some sub-questions. And here, the group of in charge of the evaluation in this project develop the concept evaluation, generate different documents, including the instruments, including the guidelines for our partners, how to carry out the studies. Our main design was based in a mixed method. So we would like to measure quantitatively in a quasi-experimental design with a pre and post, but also with an intermediate point of measure. During these 6 months, we have measured 3 times the evolution of the self-efficacy, motivation, collaboration, perception of teachers. So this is the quantitative part because we would like to make inference, not only description. So we would like to apply a statistic to see if we have some gains in terms of a statistically point of view. And also a qualitative part in relation to the content analysis because we want to triangulate the data. So here is just a screenshot. I don't pretend you read anything from that side, but this is what the sequence when we define the instrument, we make a literature review, look for previous validated instrument, we adapt it to our project, we ask to other experts, part of the project and not part of the project, to validate the instrument, and also we make a statistical validation. We were very happy when we find this research that with coherent dimension, as we planned at the very beginning, we also ran some previous validation research with a pilot sample of teachers. So as you can see here, could be a bit messed, but then after good set of data, we have this clean instrument in terms of measurement of data scales, with good, from good to excellent alpha, the Cronbach alpha, in relation to motivation, self-efficacy, collaboration, and perception of barriers. Some items very quick of each of dimension. For sure, this is published in the material of the project. It's open. It's open. You can access to the items and also to the dimension. For example, how to measure the self-efficacy. We have 10 items in relation to, I know how to engage a student in quiet activities. You have, teacher have to respond in one scale from 1 to 5. You have some example of the scales. We have a lot of data from for our partners. We are working on that data to show the evidence. Here, very preliminary research in relation to the scales of different scales of the different partners. We can see, for example, that Turkey and Lithuania has low values in the perception of barriers. at the very beginning. We cannot compare between countries because we have no baseline study. I'm not trying to compare, but could be serve as a reference. So I cannot say this high or lower, but internally we can express in this forum, we can say that 2.5 is lower than 3.70. Well, all this data is from the very beginning research. I would like to share now the case of Spain. What has happened in Spain? Well, I was prepared this slide to say that we have run different types of analysis, considering independent or dependent or matched people. So not to lose data. So very quick. If we saw the dimension in Spain in the pre-test and intermediate test, we didn't finish yet. When the presentation was said, we didn't finish the study. We had gains and significant gains in the dimension of self-efficacy, and also in the dimension of careers, and also in the dimension of barriers. In Spain, teachers in the intermediate point perceived that there was more barriers at the very beginning. So we have not significant gains. We have gained, but not significant in the motivation and collaboration. If you see, two values are higher in both, in the pre and post, but from a statistical point of view, these values are the same. We have not significant gains. So I can say here that could be expected that if you start from a high point of motivation, you can expect more motivation to the infinite. So we have a high value of motivation, because teachers that go to the teacher professional development course are very motivated. So we can expect they are going much motivated. So we have a lot of conclusion here. More data, because I only have 1 minute. I have also the same study, but with paid people. So we lost sample, but we have the same individuals. We replicate the study. So in the dimension of self-efficacy and the career, perception, knowledge about career, we still keep having gains. I prepared also the case of Portugal to share with you, because they also have career and collaboration and self-efficacy gains in their study. And we have the other countries, but not so much time to share. So further steps. We would like to analyze the whole implementation, pre, intermediate, and post. We have to compare the results in the 3 times, in the 3 point of measure. We are going to follow another analysis strategy like clustering. So we are splitting teacher that has a low motivation at the very beginning and move from the study to see if they get another gains different from that who has the higher values. We would like to test no parametries, make cross-national analysis, and make the triangulation with the qualitative. So at this point, thank you very much. I hope to be on time. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Antonio, for your presentation. Now, time to my presentation. Okay, I introduced myself before, so I didn't introduce myself again now. Our research is our paper related to STEM teacher career choice. So our motivational factors is very similar to our project trigger factors. I mention about the shortage of STEM teachers in Europe is reflected in many reports. And in addition, decrease in number of people choosing STEM teaching fields. So it seems to be a problematic issue for Europe and all stakeholders, all target groups. So we wonder how the decision become a STEM teacher or the story of development came about teachers. So we want to shed light on policies to solve these problems by identifying the factors or index that lead individual to teaching in STEM fields. So the paper purpose and research question aims to reveal factors such as knowledge, skills, interests, or attitudes, behaviors, or motivational factors that affect STEM teachers in choosing their careers. So our research question, which index can take a role in the career choices of STEM teachers? So I would like to mention about our conceptual framework. The first one is a career choice. Career choice has many different factors, and some of these may be personal, some of these occupational factors. And career choosing is starting with childhood. For the reason our first experiences in childhood offer the opportunities to experience skills specific to profession, and also the first interaction with STEM and learning of scientific concepts first starts in infancy, in which children explore their surroundings and observation and learn to think. And next conceptual framework is related to human capital. You know that human capital is related to investment about not just a teacher, for all citizens, and it depends on how to support careers or how to giving rich experiences, skills, knowledge, attitudes for all citizens. These elements affect career choice. The future evaluation of the potential labor force are very important for all countries. So this World Bank uses the Human Capital Index to explain these elements. So actually we try to define teacher capital elements or teacher capital index in our paper. We try to find out. And actually considering the starting point of STEM education, the fact that states support STEM education policies to raise individuals prone to engineering, interdisciplinary working skills, and 21st century skills can be seen as an investment policy in this human capital. And also, actually not directly linked our paper science capital, but science capital is also related to career choice, actually motivation to science or scientific skills, scientific process skills, or the other one. There are many studies on career choices in STEM fields other than teaching. In many studies that women, low socioeconomic and some minority ethnic communities are underrepresented in physical sciences, technology, and engineering fields. And this situation caused to interest in STEM profession to be at desired level. And current studies, for example, PISA and Archer and colleagues' studies, determine the place of science-related resources in human life. So in this way, it's attempt to reveal capitals that should be formed in people in STEM fields until the career selection stage and how capital is obtained. And our importance of the study, the index or factors related to becoming STEM teachers will be determined, and it might be guide for policymakers in supporting the help of teaching profession. And also our study result could affect policymakers regarding teacher education and investing human capital. And our methodology, the study is a phenomenological study and that understand to being a STEM teacher. And we use career videos. These career videos comes from our Teach for Life project. Actually, these career videos not a semi-structured interviews, just a career story. People explain or saying something about career, and we are just focusing how can we find these index. So the career stories of individuals or teachers were analyzed by subjecting content analysis. And the distribution of the career videos by country, we have different European countries and total 55 videos, but 44 career videos from which data were obtained. Turkey, Germany, Spain, Lithuania, and Netherlands. Actually, there will be here. And I would like to show a workload, 13 different codes that emerge from the data. And while some codes more frequently, but others emerge with less impact. For example, inspirational teachers, STEM lessons, inspirational teachers, STEM lessons at schools, activities in school, or attractiveness of teaching profession is codes are more frequently, while STEM and students or popular scientists occur less frequently. And what's the meaning of these codes and also descriptors? Actually, these codes explain what's the meaning. Maybe STEM and students, it's not a clear explanation, is that when teacher in their career or teaching career, they show interest of students to STEM. So it could be affect choosing a STEM career or STEM teaching career. And serendipity, you know, it is a coincidence occur in career choice. And instinctive motivation and the other past professional experiences is related to teaching or industry or other professional area. When we look at these codes relation, you can see the frequencies and also which code co-occurrence with others. When we look at this area, inspirational teachers and activities in school, inspirational teachers, STEM courses, attractiveness of teaching, instinctive motivations, and professional experiences and serendipity and family life and social environment has a connection between. So depends on this connection, this table, and some codes may even have no relation the other factors. And depends on these codes we use when we look at the previous table, we use teams and codes relation. There's a 5 different teams: childhood and social environment, school life, work life or occupational life, motivation and persona, and other factors. When we look at these teams and codes relation with weight, that emerged after the factors were grouped under these certain teams, and their weights were also taken into account. When we look at these graph, school life is most popular indexes or most affecting factors to choosing STEM teaching careers. And also motivation and persona, and the other factors, work life and childhood and social environment, and a little bit other factors, serendipity and popular scientists. When we look at the quotations related to these codes, for example, earlier activities, I remember observing insects with a magnifying glass in my hand since childhood. For this reason, as I got older, my interest is file increase. Or other factors, I came from a family of teachers. Both my parents were teachers, my grandparents were teachers. So I have always thought be very interesting to become a teacher. And when we look at the school life, was a high school biology teacher, activities in school. He was a young and he brought a lot of experiment class. We did everything from blood tests to DNA test, cross-referencing our chromosomes and making diagrams to understand why are white, blonde, or brown, blue-eyed. And we have lots of quotations related to our codes. And the other one, STEM and students. My experiences with STEM activities actually started 6 years ago. As I working with a pre-primary school children, I have noticed that the creative approach through the various art project, experimentally really engage your generation and our little explorers. I would like to give one example from this team. Maybe this one, personality. Well, I have always had a bug of the research. Every time I start my university, in fact, I was collaborating different departments, different research projects, and I did not think twice since, as I say, the bug of research is always there. So his or her personality related. And the other team is we say that other, maybe we can say a different name, but now we say the other. Serendipity and popular scientist. Serendipity, it's related to past professional experiences, not planning to teaching career, but when starting a course or an internship in a school and decided that, yes, I will be a teacher. But when we start the career story, there's not a plan or no plan for teaching. And there are many factors that affect being a STEM teacher. If you want to combine the findings we have obtained in a single and long sentence, I would like to read this sentence. The factors start with the activities in early childhood and our family, are shaped by teacher activities and STEM lessons at school. These from our interest and desire to profession and our experiences when we are appointed to the profession complete our process of becoming a STEM teacher. So there is one big conclusion is all teams and codes. And what's our implication or policy suggestion related to our data and conclusion? To tackle the shortage of teachers in Europe, to increase our employment in STEM teaching, policies for children to engage in early years activities with their families, primary, secondary, and high school teachers and effects of STEM courses at school on becoming a teacher is very important, depends on our data. To reveal the attractiveness of teaching profession and to motivate young people in this regard. And encouraging teachers who have started their profession to experience the effects and contribution of STEM on students. So it can be, we say to be necessary. And in order to increase teaching in STEM fields, investment needs to be made in all factors that affecting teaching careers. So we need to focus all factors, not just one factors, but because we have lots of different factors to being a STEM teacher. Policies take into account other dimensions are needed, not a one dimensional structure. And this requires investing in human capital starting from early age. And last implication or saying for policy, it's necessary to develop policies on local basis. In our cases, we analyze not local. All data comes from Turkey, Spain, Lithuania, Netherlands, Portuguese, and also. With decide to tendency our local teacher needs or teacher profile or teacher career stories, it could be good starting points for the local, and then we can also research and like these similar data analysis for European level. So these factors revealed in study are based on data from 6 different European countries. So thank you for your participants for my presentation. And we have a last presentation from Brett. Now I would like to invite him. Following the Brett, we have a discussion section and question answer section. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. Firstly, thank you very much for attending. It's great to be here, to be speaking with you all. My position in this project is slightly different to everyone else. The teams that have come together from the different countries include educators and policymakers, whereas I come more from a commercial background. So my business is called SciComm Consulting. We're a research-adjacent organization. And what I'm going to be sharing with you today is what we have learned over the last 5 years in developing our own science education platform for teachers, what the research findings that we followed have indicated, what the barriers are for students, what the challenges are for teachers in being able to address and overcome some of these barriers, and what support is therefore required, and how this will all align with the 3C4life project and the 3 central approaches within STEM education, which is competence development, cooperation, and career possibilities. So I'm a co-founder and director at SciComm Consulting, which is a limited company based in the United Kingdom. We're a media and communications design company with a special focus on projects that deliver social and educational impact, and we work in the niche research adjacent space. Our flagship project is Futurum Careers. It's an online digital platform and a physical magazine aimed at supporting teachers in developing and increasing the students' levels of science literacy and science capital. And that's a term we've heard a lot this morning, isn't it? Capital development across science, across human. Delivering better careers provisioning and supporting students and helping them to identify and promote appropriate role models in order to inspire the next generation. It was through our project Futurum and that we came across the International Center for STEM Education, or ICSE, and a collaboration began, which resulted in us joining the 3C4life project as an advisory board member. So today I'm just going to talk you through what we've learned in the last 5 years. So shortages in the teaching profession are reportedly impacting 35 out of 43 education systems across Europe. That's according to a recent Eurodice report. And the need to retain and train more teachers has never been more pressing. Current data indicates there isn't a shortage of teachers, We've had over 15,000 teacher applicants not being offered a place in 2020. And if we consider the period from 2014 to 2017, during the peak of the supply crisis, less than 60% of applicants were accepted. Over the slightly longer period of 2014 to 2021, the data indicates a small increase, but still below 70% of teacher training applicants were accepted. And there are many reasons for this. There's the unintended impact of political decisions that impact teacher supply. There's salaries and pay. However, it's not only about the pay. Money will obviously attract applicants, but it's a far more complex issue. Working conditions are of particular importance, and particularly teachers feeling supported with good administrators and having strong leadership really does matter for them. Globally, countries have national priorities around workforce development, economic progress, international competitiveness. For the immediate and the future is very much reliant on a strong pipeline of STEM skilled professionals. Technology is advancing at a breakneck speed and is resulting in new niche roles, jobs coming to market that we need to start preparing the next generation for today. This means expanding the pipeline of learners within the STEM spaces and engaging with the wider cross-section of students, especially those from ethnic minority groups, from socioeconomically deprived areas, and young women and girls being brought up in more traditional households. So our approach, with this in mind, our thinking was if we could understand the knowledge gaps among the learner population, this would inform the kind of support the teachers require, and we would then be able to develop a platform and materials to help teachers address and fill these knowledge gaps, and in so doing, help address some of the challenges. We drew inspiration from Futurum Careers from a number of research papers and policy frameworks and existing new digital platforms, but I'll cover the two that were most influential in informing our own development: the Aspire study and the Gatsby benchmarks. Now, a lot of the presentations already this morning have referenced the Aspire study, Archer et al. So Professor Louise Archer was the lead, the PI on the Aspire study. And she in fact coined the term science capital. The Aspire study was originally a 10-year longitudinal study. It was undertaken in the UK, and it introduced us to this concept of science capital. The initial 10 years of the study focused on gaining a better understanding of the elements that influence students' affinity and to science and their science and career aspirations. So the concept of science capital refers to a person's lived experience, as Gokhan was talking about in his presentation. And this is the lived experience of science, like knowledge, understanding, attitudes to, active in and social networks. So think about things like, from a young age, having access and visits to science parks, to museums, to aquariums, having discussions within the home that highlight the importance of science and its impact on society, on the environment and on health, or knowing scientists, either parents or wider family members who are scientists or academics themselves. The study found that the more science capital a young person has, the more likely it is they will pursue a career in science. Alarmingly, in 2017, a survey conducted by the project across 3,658 11 to 15-year-olds found that only 5% had high levels of science capital. 68% had medium, 27% had low. Alongside the Aspire study, back in 2013, Sir John Holman wrote the Good Career Guidance Report. And this set out a framework of 8 guidelines for improving careers provisioning in schools and colleges, and became known as the Gatsby benchmarks. These benchmarks were adopted as part of the UK government's career strategy and statutory guidance, and are also used by Ofsted to rank schools. And the benchmarks are: 1, a stable careers program; 2, learning from career and labor market information. 3, addressing the needs of each pupil. 4, linking curriculum learning to careers. 5, encounters with employers and employees. 6, experiences of workplaces. 7, encounters with further and higher education. And 8, personal guidance. Now, the Aspires project informed us teachers would need help in delivering a lived science experience in order for students to develop and increase science capital and science literacy, and to enthuse and inspire the next generation of STEM skilled individuals for the research and workforce pipelines. That means that teachers having access to high quality, legitimate materials and resources they can use to complement subject teaching and introduce science and science-related concepts and ideas in the classroom. It also means being able to bring speakers into the classroom, or having the ability to take students to visit a local university or a museum or a business where they could engage directly with academics, with researchers, with scientists, and with working professionals. The Gatsby benchmarks provided a framework to improve career guidance, but of the 8 benchmarks, 4 are not always easy for teachers to comply with. Like with Aspires being about a lived experience, Gatsby also indicated a need to deliver a learning experience that extends beyond the classroom. However, if we consider benchmark 2, learning from career and labor market information, this requires a teacher or a school to have a network of employers that they can call on to attend careers days or arrange site visits. For teachers in cities and metropolitan areas and built-up areas, this is less problematic than for teachers located in more remote locations who typically have access to a small pool of employers or are restricted by the distance they need to travel. With the current economic challenges facing most countries, schools' budgets are negatively impacted, and funding for extramural activities is generally the first to be cut. For benchmark 3, linking curriculum learning to careers, this also asks that teachers have a very broad knowledge base across the career space. But with the rate at which new jobs and roles are coming to the fore, this is simply an unrealistic expectation. So it's critical to provide access to trustworthy information that can help teachers make the connections for students between subject choices and career outcomes. Benchmark 5, encounters with employees and employers. Benchmark 3, linking curriculum learning to careers. This also asks that teachers have, I've covered that. Sorry, benchmark 5, the click is not working. Benchmark 5, encounters with employers and employees. The challenge here is very similar to benchmark 2 in that it requires a network and ease of access, so not restricted by distance or funding. A variety of employers is also an issue. Often the same employers attend the same careers days year in and year out at the same schools. Students are not looking for jobs. They are looking for careers. So a good mix of business is important in not limiting aspirations. Benchmark 7, encounters with further and higher education, again, requires teachers to have contacts at local universities and higher education establishments, and for these to be in close proximity. Rural-based teachers are at a disadvantage as they are in the other instances. There are now a number of online and digital content creators and companies producing educational materials to help and support teachers, but most are looking at the student as the beneficiary of the materials. A few good examples of these are Skype a Scientist, Lab Exchange, Scientex, and of course, Future and Careers. So what we learned, to summarize, what these frameworks, research studies, and platforms have highlighted to us is teachers are in need of help and support if they are to remain in the profession. They are under tremendous pressure to deliver a curriculum, and alongside that, the need and the expectation that they also deliver exceptional careers provisioning increases workload and competency demands. Besides requiring access to resource materials to support teaching, there is a greater need to support teachers individually. So what we've taken away from our own experience and focus groups is that teachers require continued professional development and support and access to human resources without it being burdensome or requiring a high time investment from a time-poor profession. And they require access to networks beyond the school gates, within the wider commercial and industrial spaces, and to institutes of higher learning and individuals within those institutes. And this is where the 3C4life platform is intending to fill the gap. The 3C4life project focuses on the teacher and their professional development. The approach to focus on supporting teachers, professional development, and ensuring education systems are geared towards building capacity for STEM teachers to operate successfully throughout their careers, challenges the notion that STEM education systems lack this capacity. By creating a positive impression of the STEM teaching profession, it'll serve to make the profession a more attractive option to work within. The 3C4life platform offers teachers the opportunity to connect on a local, a regional, a national, and a cross-national basis through communities of practice, to network with colleagues, peers, and external professionals, to learn about new methodologies and how to implement new approaches and strategies successfully by sharing best practice and advice. And the project creates a platform to learn about the career pathways open to teachers and how they can navigate these trajectories, vertical and horizontal advancement perspectives effectively, and to support continued professional development in a meaningful and enriching way that enhances satisfaction in the role and the profession. So to close, these platforms only work if there is a willingness on the part of the teachers to engage, to cooperate, and to collaborate. For many, there will be a natural willingness to participate, but in other instances, the need to propagandize the culture will be greater. Generating the willingness to participate could be achieved through incentive schemes like CPD points or rewards as an idea, as a thought. The sustainability of these platforms, however, beyond the life cycle of the project, is reliant on the results, the data indicating there is value for teachers in a personal development and advancement capacity. And finally, the ability to provide integrated career guidance needs to become fundamental to the culture of education, and therefore fundamental to the culture of teacher training and CPD. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett, for your presentation. Thank you for you to all presenter. In fact, each presentation revealed something about STEM education theory, from theory to practice, with database approach. Also, 3C4life project aims to encourage teaching in STEM files and guide teachers with a database approach at this point. After this stage, I would like to give floor Agueda. While providing the floor to Agueda, we can take our speakers to the stage. Could be put the seats. All presenters, and also we have three representatives of ministries. Oscar from Spain, please come here, and also Anna from Portuguese, and also Hasan from Turkey. We have 8 seats for presenter. I can be here.
So, yeah.
Open the first. Okay.
So we've heard about the teacher profession. We have 3 steps. We have first how to get people to become teachers. Step 1, STEM careers. We talk a lot about STEM careers in general, and usually it means, you know, you can become a researcher or an astronaut or a biologist, and then only sometimes you hear, or a STEM teacher. It's like at the end, right? So first, how to get them in. The second thing we talked about, or we heard about, is how to get the teachers to stay in the teaching profession. So how to keep them motivated, how to keep them wanting to go back. And the third thing is how to make sure that we have good quality teachers. So how do we make sure that they're still always up to date with everything and everyone? So all 3 steps are part of the process and part of what they've been discussing in their presentations. So we have a chance now to discuss in a more informal way. So I want you to, if you have any questions, please raise your hands and I will be paying attention to that. But I also have a few of my own, so I want to address a few things that you've mentioned. So I want to start with one of the things that I found quite interesting is that we were talking about professional development, how to get teachers to, be part. We need to provide professional development. We need to give teachers the opportunity to learn more. So you've mentioned, for example, Monica, you were saying that teachers attended one of your trainings. So I took one question there for you especially. Now, those teachers, did they attend on their own time? Or did they attend as part of their as part of their school classes? And so I want to address that first. Monica, maybe you can explain that.
I have to say that we had in this professional development program teachers from the north to the south of Portugal, and the Ministry of Education, it was a very useful partner because they have, maybe Anna could explain a little bit more. We have in Portugal the science life centers, and they have a good network related with these centers. And we went to a national conference there, and we try to attract teachers from north to south of Portugal to this professional development program. This PDP was face-to-face. So on Saturday they came to the university and so on. But maybe Anna could talk a little bit more about the involvement of the teachers, because they work hard with us in this part of the project, namely how to have the 270 teachers involved in a project.
Okay, our main network was the life science clusters at school. This project, it's a partnership with the Science Agency, with science museums and university and researchers. The science goes to school, and we have a huge network in the schools, and this was the first our best way to reach the teachers. We have a national conference in October and the 3C4life was represented at the conference. It was a face-to-face contact with the teachers, the representatives of these clusters at school. They get interested in the project, in the training that was offered. And then we used our network communication to widely to spread the 3C4life project.
Thank you. So that's important, because you're basically getting these teachers to want to come. Let me ask in a different way, also because of something Brett mentioned about how to get them. What, like, if it's an option. So let me ask, actually, how many of you are currently on holidays and decided to come? So you're officially on holidays and decided to spend part of your holidays in this conference. Yeah? Okay, we have 3. The rest of us are here because it's our job. The Belgian government, I am based in Belgium, and the Belgian government just introduced a obligation for companies to give us a few days of training. Teachers go to training because they want to. They use up their weekends. They use up their evenings. Have you noticed? I see all of you nodding. Is there, so this brings me to the next question. How do you bring those teachers that are not motivated? Because that's also what, Antonio, you were mentioning in your, I'm giving it as an open question, so any of them can answer. Because Antonio, you mentioned it as well, that you were saying that, that of course, how do you get more motivated the teachers? I mean, you're saying, so this was really good. Were they motivated? 1% more. Because they were already super excited. How do you measure from excitement to super excited? So how do we address the non-motivated ones? They're all just gonna nod and say.
No, yeah, it's a challenge. I think that, for example, during the training, the teachers have to share their results and so on, and disseminate it to the other teachers. And I think that is one way to have more teachers involved in the project. But the process in the schools, I think that is very important. One teacher come and the others maybe have some contact with the project and so on. Could be one way, but it's very difficult to try to engage in a professional development program. The teachers that are not motivated to do it, it's very hard.
It's harder.
Yeah.
Anybody else wants to add to that?
Okay, good. Thank you. I would like to say something about from Turkey. In our cases, in many CPD programs, teacher does not motivate it. But when we start the CPD program and 1 or 2 sessions continue, and they understand how these programs support their teaching methods or materials. So I think the process of the training motivated our teachers. But when they came first, they asked us, what's the purpose of this meeting or CPD? But actually, we are explaining the purpose or aims or objectives, but not motivated them. But when we start the CPD programs or teacher training programs, webinars, all of them, following the 2 or 3rd session, they motivated because we desired to explain, we encourage, or we suggest some materials, so they understand how affect their teaching career or their teaching in class. So I can say from Turkey, this one.
Thank you very much. We have Oscar over there, yes, as well. So that is very important. It's about the quality of the professional development opportunities that makes other teachers want to do it as well. Go ahead.
Well, according with them, is a challenge. It's our challenge to motivate the teachers to go to training, to get better skills, teach. And in Spanish case, at least in our community, in Valencia's community, we have discovered that we have always the same people on the courses. I mean, they repeat. They do a training activity, another training activity, and the same. And it's always the same people, more or less. I mean, we have thousands of teachers under our umbrella, but we have realized that there are a big group, but a group that is always doing training activities, and it's very difficult to engage different people from this group. So this is our challenge, of course. We have realized also that, for example, in the activities, title is super important. If you offer a training activity, the title is a key point, because they read the title and, okay, oh, interesting title, and they get engaged with activity. After this, depends on the activity, of course.
Thank you very much. Antonio, you wanted to say, and then Brett? Or Brett and then Antonio?
Well, yeah, I would like to ask to add in relation to the data about motivation, that we must pay attention to be part of the motivation. So we have for 200 teachers at the very beginning the course, and then we finish the course 150, 120. What's happened with the rest of teachers? Maybe personal reason, maybe, but we also perceive that at some point of the professional development course, there is a kind of demotivation. Maybe was not the expectancy of the teachers. Maybe we don't pay enough attention in relation to whatever point of the course. So we have to plan also in advance for the teacher professional development strategies. So not only starting from biased teachers under motivated, but those that are there give the chance to not demotivate along the course. So it's a challenge, because one of the aims of the symposium was challenge an opportunity. So it's also a challenge for the teacher professional development designers.
Right.
Yeah, I think content and making sure your content is fit for purpose is certainly important in ensuring the motivation stays high. But I think the other thing we need to consider, and Agueda, you mentioned this right at the beginning, is some teachers are here because they want to be here. You're on holiday, but you're here. In any other space, any other working environment, your professional development would be time that's set aside by a business owner, by an institute, by your employer to ensure that you are properly trained as an individual. And we've got to consider the teachers spend hours once they've gotten home, once they've left the school, marking papers, creating worksheets. And this is done at home. You know, it's not uncommon. You'll find teachers working on Saturdays and on Sundays. So the expectation for them to then invest more time outside of that into their own professional development comes at a personal cost. And I think that's really, really important, is that we understand just how much pressure and how time poor the teaching profession is, and maybe start to think about solutions around protected time for continued professional development.
We have another comment over there. Go ahead.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm taking part Turkish Ministry of National Education, and we often meet teachers online and face to face. We speak about that sometimes, and I think yes, Monica mentioned that it's actually challenge. Motivation is a big problem, but maybe integrated science curriculum is, I think, is important, and activities, I think so. It's important that cooperation and collaboration, and also materials and out of school also activities, and embedded daily life activities, I think, is important also. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. It's about the daily activities and the way we are, well, the workload they also have. I mean, you were mentioning protecting them and all these hours. But Gokhan, for example, you were saying that the teachers, one of the reasons they went into teaching was this school life environment and this flexibility in a way that they have. And when you were saying that, I had a concern about the fact that one of the stereotypes that teachers have is that, oh, you're a teacher, oh, you have lots of holidays. And when I saw that, I thought, oosh, that can be used the wrong way.
Yes.
That teachers join because of that. Can you maybe share a bit about that? Go ahead. Yeah,
I would like to say something about this one as a how teacher and school life and attractiveness of teaching. I remember some quotations from our data. Every teacher says that actually activities in classroom, in STEM class, STEM courses, especially in laboratory activities. They say that laboratory activities is very attractiveness, very motivational. So our teachers doing best, doing her best or his best performance. So I think it's very important when teachers doing the best to motivate younger students. I remember a quotation from, he said in this video, 1973, he remembered from teachers' activities, 1973. So I think the school life, teacher stories, careers, it's not easy. So we can't say that you have a most vacation time, summertime, you have a 3 months in Turkey. Lots of people say that people have many holidays, 2 months for summer and break in the winter. But yes, it could be just right when quantitative, but when we talk about the qualitative, it's not correct. I can say that.
Absolutely, and it's what Brett was saying, isn't it? That they're using part of that time to do this professional development that they cannot do as part of their job. We have a question from the audience. Please, can you state your name, who you are, and
thank you. My name is Bente, and I'm from the Novo Nordisk Foundation in Denmark. Thank you for a very interesting talk and for a very interesting debate. My question goes to actually the points you had about titles and relevant content for CPD. I noticed when you presented the Teach for Life platform that it was integrated in a STEM frame, so that when you go for materials, you would choose between science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And maybe if you're a teacher in physics or biology in primary or upper secondary school, you look for content for maybe biology teaching. And my question is a primary agenda for the Teach for Life to provide relevant CPD material, or is there also an agenda about integrated STEM teaching or integrated science teaching? Do you have any reflections on that?
I can say something about that. Actually, our primary aims not to CPD, just integrated STEM with STEM files. We also discuss with our teams. I remember that is a science, physics, maths, the other biology. There's a type of STEM fields, STEM disciplines, and it also has a integration with social scientific issue, context-based learning, authentic context, and also inquiry-based learning. So we are trying to integrate it of them, not like regular CPD programs.
Antonio, you want to ask?
Yes, aligned with Gokhan, the comment in response to your question. The agenda of 3C4life was to not only to be the repository in capital letters, just to be inspiring and give some piece of masterpiece of good AVL approaches, good resource in relation to engineering, mathematics, biology, chemistry, in those approaches. This is because the part of the team that is part of the research of the project has worked before in that material. So they are a material based on research evidence also. We have tested before, I've been part of another professional development course, a specific project that was focused on delivery modules and professional development course with those materials. But 3C4life and Teach4life pick up the best of each project, previous project, and put all together just to be also flexible with the professional development designer, because we are very diversity in the consortium. Also, it's an European project. Not only the consortium partners has to be benefit of that. We want to everybody who wants, and it's open source, a cool access to that resource. So this sparing is a piece of short of approaches, but they are good basic research evidence that we have tested before in previous professional development modules and course of other projects.
Monica, you wanted to add something? Go ahead.
I just also want to highlight that the focus is the inquiry, the social scientific issues, and the authentic contexts. But during the development, professional development programs, we work with teachers in mixed groups in order to promote the integration of STEM. Okay, so they work in interdisciplinary way. I will just add this information.
Thank you. We have Alex also.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for all presenters. I have one specific question for Brad in the UK and one for all of you. So, Brad, I would like to know more about how was 3C4life in the UK, about the teachers' involvement, and is there any teacher who participated in Archer's Inspire as well in 3C4life? The other question for all of you is about, I would like to bridge Magda's question about how to keep teachers, how to attract, keep, and enhance the pedagogy using your research question project. What is about how to use research findings either at national level or regional level or cross-national to engage more teachers. So is it possible to use the preliminary findings during the implementation or just at the end when the project finished? So yeah, that's the question.
Thanks for your question. I don't believe there were any English partners involved in the 3C4life project, either teachers or policymakers, sadly. Whether that had to do with Brexit, I don't know. We as a commercial organization were involved purely at the advisory board level. And I think based on our expertise and having been able to commercialize a model and turn that into a business, which is something we spoke about a little bit earlier on in terms of how do we sustain these projects beyond the end date. So yeah, sadly, no English partners involved outside of Futurum Careers.
In the project, we have a task that is the exploitation. So we are working now in the exploitation phase. And for example, in Portugal, the Ministry of Education, as we said before, we are working together, but they are working in the phase of exploitation, our project, to have more teachers involved in the platform, the Teach4life platform.
Thank you very much. We have one question at the back that a microphone is coming their way, and then Ian.
Hi, my name is Sanam. I'm from George Mason University, and congratulations on this very exciting project. I'm interested in your own personal experience. So were there any challenges for you? Or if so, what were the most challenging part for you as ministry representatives, researchers, or project developers? Thank you.
I can say about most challenging parts in our project lifetime. We mentioned about 3-dimension: competence, collaboration, and career. Career and competence dimension going easily and is conducted well, but collaboration has a big problem in our project. Not only local or only EU level. We haven't done yet collaboration in local base and EU level. So we are trying to find solution how to promote collaboration, because the collaboration between teachers not too easily. You can say that, yes, you can ask question with your colleague and someone can answer your question, but it doesn't work. Actually, it didn't work. I hope we will find a new way to promote collaboration during the project lifetime. So in my opinion, it's the big challenging process in Turkey. When I joined last project meeting, I saw many countries has a similar problem during the project lifetime.
Yep, go ahead.
I could ask you in the position of educators and teachers and also researchers. So I'm going to focus on the research part. The most challenging thing is maybe to have a good instrument to measure, validate the instruments. It's not from this project, it's a question of research. So if you have some good validate instrument, you can measure something with validity. But also we have to launch the culture of everybody is part of the research. I mean, we as a research have the instrument, have the evaluation concept, have the research question, have the hypothesis, but we need the data. We need the data from your side, from you as a teacher, you and you and you. So we have to launch the culture that everybody is an important part of the process of measure and research. Okay, my role is research and get conclusion and draw conclusion and share, but I can't do nothing if I have no data. So we, at the very beginning of the presentation of the professional courses, try to convince our teachers that they are a relevant part, obviously, in the professional course development, in the course, but also as a part of to be researcher, not they as individual, but as a group, as a process. So because if we don't have this data, we cannot get in progress. We cannot propose more research in another project. This is very challenging, not for this project. I think it's a challenge for the research in general, but it's a challenge. So let's work on it.
Indeed. Oscar, you want to do that?
One of the challenges that the Ministry of Education in Portugal faced was to maintain the teachers in this project. The strategy that the Institute for Education and the Ministry achieved was through the professional development. We had teachers from all over the country. The face-to-face work is extremely important. The spirit of collaboration that gets along with our policies that the ministry is trying to develop at schools. It's also important for the for keeping the teachers motivated at the development.
I was totally agree, of course, but in the same line, not only in the project, I think for the ministries, the challenge is to keep motivated teacher long life. And it's so difficult, they burn out. Yes, I don't have figures, I don't have real numbers, but in Spain, for instance, teachers can get a retirement at 60 years old or more. But I think 99% of them get a retirement at 60 because they are totally burned out. And it's very difficult, and it's the real challenge to keep them motivated long life. I think this is the great challenge for us.
Thank you very much. We have another, if there's no other, you want to add the address as well? Please go ahead.
I think so challenges we aim to make sustainable. I think everything is okay, and key word sustainable. We aim to make this sustainable. It's important. I think so. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Ian, you have a question as well. You've got the mic. Just coming right now.
Make sure it's still working. Yes, thank you very much to all of the speakers for raising so many questions. My name is Ian Galloway. I'm a member of T-Cube Europe, which, being a European organization, has propelled me to leave England and live in France because of Brexit. And listening to Professor Gultekin Çakmakçı at the beginning of the conference, he suggested something which has raised in my mind a question, which perhaps goes to all of the team there. He suggested we should ask silly questions. Well, I got loads of questions from all of the things that you said, but one of them perhaps could be a silly question. I don't know. The second speaker, I think from Spain, raised the idea of learning communities and suggested, whether I don't know he meant it as such, that because of they were structured communities, they promoted this motivation within a learning environment. But I wonder if the team or the group up there might give some thought to the idea that actually learning communities, by their very nature, are unstructured. And they motivate us because of their unstructured nature. Here, for example, at ESERA, you have a framework which on the face of it looks structured. But if we're all asking silly questions during this conference, then it's unstructured. The T-Cube Europe has a framework, but everybody asks everybody silly questions across their own platforms. We have a common language, English, but all the different groups within T-Cube Europe have their own languages, a bit like scientists, I suppose. And so my question to the team is, do they think that they should be promoting unstructured learning environments in order to promote teacher motivation and so on?
Give the chance to all of you to reply in 1 minute. Can you all answer with a yes or no? Would you agree with, would you say, yes, we should also promote unstructured learning? Can you say yes or, actually, let's make it easier. Can you raise your hand if you say yes?
Yes.
Yes, hesitation over there. So I'll use that as an opening for the final question, 2 final questions. Do you feel that we have advanced with solving the problem with this project and all the research you've done? Have we improved the situation? Have we learned more about it? What works, what doesn't work? Yes or no? Yes. Have we solved the problem?
And we have had data.
Yes. Yes. We have done solve the problem. We have done we don't have a problem. We have a context. So it's not a problem. It's not our problem. It's a scenario that we keep on learning each time we do this kind of research approach. So we know about motivation, teachers, efficacy. So there is not a problem. It's just to see what works, what goes better, what are the improvements. So I know you have another question. We don't have time, but what has not worked? So, but maybe later we can discuss. But we are getting good improvement, but we are on the way to keep on working on teacher motivation, self-efficacy, learning community, and structure, and or unstructured. So there is a challenge. So the challenge is also on the floor.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to bring it back. So we do have this challenge to bring, keep, and enhance, as Alex also changed the word that I liked, teachers. And to do that, we need these communities. We need this collaboration between the different stakeholders in STEM education at different level. We need the data. We need to learn what works. And very importantly, what does not work, so we can improve better. And we will continue the discussions during the coffee breaks and the lunch. Thank you very much to all our panelists.
Thank you for all participants. I will say something a little bit, for me. I hope it was helpful for all, everyone. We can ensure the dissemination and exploitation of our results or products of project. Speaking of dissemination, I remember to take the little gift we have prepared for you. The back at the back table when you leave the presentation. At the same time, as a signature list there, maybe you already sign it. And there's a lovely saying from in Turkey, a coffee has 40 years of memory. Please, you will remember our project when you drink coffee with your thermos mug, okay? Thank you for all participation. We finished our policy seminar. Thank you for Agueda for brilliant management of discussion session. And also Brett, he has also advisory board. Thank you for all of them. And we can finish our seminar.